welcome back to another episode of Plants vs. Zombies. This is survival at night on hard. So this is when I kind of had gotten into what the hell just happened? Oh, I had to stop for for a second. Yeah, I had to retry or something like that for a second. That's what happened. This is where I kind of get into, after talking to Perry, I go, you know what, I want to try a challenge where the only thing I use to defend myself in the late game, or at least what I strive to get to, is only cob cannons. So that's what I'm going to do. Well, not only to defend myself, I'd also use the one-use plants, like the cherry bombs or the jalapenos, to try to help. And of course, since it's at night, I'd always use always recommend using the what are those, puff shrooms, as soon as you can, as well as getting enough sun to take out the graves and the normal night, because they're annoying. I think on this I do show off the graves popping up through a plant if you have the entire screen full. I think it does do that at some point. Now, as you can kind of tell by the time, this took a rather long time for a match. It was a lot longer than most of the other ones. Don't really know why, but it was. It's probably because I was trying to do something kind of ludicrous, but that's beside the point. It was fun. But basically the strategy to do this would be to get 2 rows of sun-bringing things, get out your defenses as soon as possible, and then start loading up 4 rows of kernel bolts as soon as possible. Always want to use the spikeweed as well as some kind of wall. And I think the puff shrooms actually do help here at the beginning very nicely. I don't think I had to ever use the double squash thing at all. Maybe occasionally, for like these guys. I don't know. He got stopped real nice right on the spikeweed, so. So eventually it'll just be an onslaught of kernels and butter flying over the top of the walls. And because you have to go through 2 flags here at the beginning, it's a lot easier to get everything around. Alright, so we are starting on the 3rd row. Got our stuff down. Now, to all of those that are watching this like, this is kind of an interesting challenge. I recommend not trying it unless you're really up for a headache. Because this was definitely not the easiest one of the challenges. I do another challenge later, which is pretty easy, and the final one, I do a challenge on that, and that was pretty easy as well. Yeah, for some reason I'm like, let's put all the spikeweed. Well, I was thinking, I'm gonna need all the spikeweed stuff as I can for what I'm going to be doing, which is pretty true, because this is rather difficult. I don't remember where I decided to put the magnet shrooms, because there is the bigger zombie. I don't actually know what he was called. Maybe it's a minor zombie. Which actually, they start throwing those at you a lot, so I would recommend a strategy with something like the split pea or the repeater, or let's see what else can fire backwards. Not a lot, actually. Oh, and this is my strategy. I needed an area to conserve a little bit of space. Or, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the magnet shrooms up at the top, and I'm going to move the kernel bolts part back just once. So, plant a sunflower when you have the twin flowers ready, and then you can get your twin flowers, whatever. But even though you have a full row of magnet shrooms, that will not save you against all the stuff that they throw at you in survival. A lot more is it, yeah, it doesn't quite cut it the same way. I mean, it will save you for a while, but eventually it'll catch up with you. See, we're not even halfway through the video. This is a long survival match. Probably mostly for what I'm trying to do, but regardless, it's a long match. The sunflowers, what I've noticed, do actually work a little bit slower, in my opinion, at night compared to the mushrooms, the sun shrooms. So, I'd recommend for most of the night things to have 2 rows of sun shrooms rather than any amount of sunflowers. Well, no. I should take that away. If you have like 3 or 4 rows of sunflowers, they're going to do better than the sun shrooms, obviously. But I do not think 2 rows of or 1 row of twin sunflowers does not count as 2 rows of the sun shrooms. Your opinion may differ, but that's my opinion. And see, there was an example of the tombstone just getting rid of my spikeweed there. It'll do that. I don't know if it'll do the closest to it. I think it can just pop up anywhere. I think at some point it destroys one of my one of my cop cannons, which was really annoying. So I would recommend keeping the top row out, or top row, nothing in it. Let's see, what do I do with the gold magnets? Is it just me being lazy or what? It's probably just me being lazy that I tend to use that. Because freeze is always nice, and with what I'm going with, won't actually use freeze. Bring the ice shroom, since it'll freeze everything momentarily. It'll give you enough time for whatever. This is really weird to watch in really fast motion. Because this is slightly sped up more than the previous ones. Because I needed to fit it in kind of a... I don't want these to be too terribly long. And see, this is where annoyance happens, because the mushroom, not the mushrooms, the magnet shrooms will grab the guy's thing as long as they're in range, even if they're behind. So instead of it going all the way to the end and then turning around and being stunned there for a second, it doesn't do that, so then they just pop up like right there, which is not all that helpful, not all the time. See, this is where the strategy is kind of lacking. I don't recommend it at all. And see, we have a problem there, because that place was open, and it was the only open spot, so it pops up there. And now we have Gargantors! Yay! Although that might be the last of the whatchamacallits. The Digger zombies, but I'm not entirely sure. really hard to see the cobs coming down, isn't it? They like pop down so quickly. Yeah. This is the first time I noticed that the magnet shrooms actually take the screen doors too. I never actually noticed that. As for the Gargantors, you're pretty safe from them until you get to possibly... I think it's the waves. I think it's the second wave, actually, on this round, that they start throwing it at you. But you might see him start popping up anytime now. But definitely using the Cob Cannon strategy is definitely fun. I do not recommend it, though. Because I mean, it's like explosions all the time! Rah! If there isn't an explosion on screen every 5 seconds, then I'm doing something wrong. And here goes the imps. The imps are annoying too. The fact that the Gargantors just destroy everything is annoying. I do not recommend this strategy, Sam I Am. I do not recommend it at all. No, I wouldn't recommend it. I'm just getting all just watching it. Maybe on like a last stand type of thing? Maybe? Because... what was that, 2? So this is the final flag. As you can see, my defense is in shambles. But I'm somewhat holding. I have 2 places that still have the lawnmower. So I have 2 safeguards. I have 1 place, or I have 3 places where I don't. And I am panicking at the moment. So it's like, this is a good place to use a Doom Shroom. Boom! And notice my, inventory. It's like, watermelon, insta-death, ice shroom, insta-death, get rid of the whatchamacallits, the tombstones, insta-death, or wall, mushroom, continuous insta-death thing. This was I was like, I'm still gonna try to do it, I'm not gonna start all over, but I am scared out of my wits, man. This is like, heinous on all levels. And yes, I just wasted a cob on 1 zombie. That was brilliant. When I can, I'll throw down watermelons. As you can see, this is why this is... ugh. Oh, and that, right there, that kind of showed you, this is where I figured out that the mole zombies can't go through, craters, for whatever reason. Alright, but this is 1 flag. Okay, we can make this. We can do this. They're just a bunch of zombies. We can do this. My walls are failing. Everything is going terrible. No. Maybe the digger zombies can actually go through craters. That would make sense, because not going through doesn't make any sense. And now I have no Colonel Volts. There are now 2 Gargantors. Everything is terrible. And now there are 2 Gargantors in 1 row. I don't have to worry about the top 2 rows, really. Alright, and now we have a wave. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. We do this. I'll see you on the next episode of Plants vs. Zombies. This is how it's going to finish out for Night Survival. Next time, tune in for the next episode, which would be the roof during the day. There we go. That was a stupid challenge. Boy.